Today's video is sponsored by Privacy.com, which lets you buy things online using virtual cards instead of real ones, which protects your privacy. With the recent release of Star Wars The Bad Batch, we've been spoiled yet again. More Order 66. How many times are we going to enjoy and cry and just get to see Jedi deaths over and over again? And with the new show and new details about certain characters' experience of Order 66, I wanted to make an updated list of every clone trooper who disobeyed or somehow got out of following the dreaded Jedi Purge. Maybe some of these guys just like seeing the Jedi wielding the shiny laser swords, and that's why they didn't kill him. And please let me know if I miss anyone or if you have any of your own opinions about certain characters, but here's every clone in Star Wars canon who avoided Order 66. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. So you know how Darth Tyrannus and Palpatine masterminded the clone army, which they purchased from the Kaminoans, but at some point, several clones and Jedi found out about their plan? Well, they wouldn't have found out if the Sith were using Privacy.com, the sponsor of this video. Privacy keeps you safe when you buy things online. By generating virtual numbers, Privacy masks your bank information, so you never have to use your real numbers and card when buying stuff online. And you can decide who can charge your card, how much, and how often. I bet Palps didn't do this. Setting up your account is simple. Go to Privacy.com and create an account, and then all you have to do is link your virtual cards to a US checking account or a debit card. Then you can add a limit to the virtual card based on how much you want to spend. After this, download the browser extension from the Chrome Web Store, and then the next time you buy something, in the checkout you'll see the Privacy icon appear next to where you type your card number. Click that, create a new virtual card, and you're good to go. You've just purchased the Grand Army of the Republic without using any of your real bank details. So to sign up and start using Privacy, head over to privacy.com/bombastic and get $5 to spend on your first purchase. You can find more details in the description. So first up, let's get the most obvious clone out of the way. We have Captain Rex. Rex originally learned of the existence of the inhibitor chips after Tup prematurely executed Order 66, killing Jedi General Tiplar. This led Fives to research and uncover the inhibitor chip programming covered up by Palpatine. Information he then relayed to Rex, but information which cost him his life. However, this information allowed Ahsoka to save Rex in Season 7, learning of the true purpose of the inhibitor chips. Ahsoka then removes Rex's chip, thus saving him from his Jedi killing fate. And he then tells Ahsoka that it's every clone, the entire Grand Army of the Republic, all with inhibitor chips. So technically, I guess Rex did execute Order 66, although unsuccessfully, and was saved before it got the better of him. However, the thing is, Rex apologizes to Ahsoka after coming to and realizing what he'd done, that he'd tried to kill Ahsoka. So are the clones still conscious of their actions even after Order 66? Are their former selves screaming inside their heads, unable to control the actions of their bodies? I'm curious just how much their minds are consumed by the Order. Next up is a clone who most of us had probably forgotten about, but was brought back by Filoni for The Bad Batch. Cut Lawquane, and this guy is the real reason I'm making this video. The other day I posted a video discussing all the theories as to why Cut never executed Order 66. Was it because he was out of range, because he'd already defected, because there were no Jedi around? Well, lots of you seem to think it was because he simply never received the order. He never actually heard the words execute Order 66. Therefore, his inhibitor chip was never activated. When the Bad Batch show up at his place on Seleucami, they never actually say the words execute Order 66. And Cut also mentioned that Rex passed through just yesterday, and he also probably never said the words. Excuse the pun, but Cut has completely cut himself off from his past life in the clone army. He saw his clone brothers killed, was horrified, scarred, and therefore decided to defect. He no longer wears the armor, obviously, and he lives on a farm in the middle of nowhere, with no contact to the outside world. Therefore, he simply never heard the order, and also has no Jedi to kill, so a number of reasons point to why he never executed the order. Just chilling on the farm with the fam. Okay, next up, we have clone Commando Gregor. Now, there's still no official canon explanation on how or when Gregor's chip was removed. He obviously teamed up with Rex and Wolffe following Order 66, so by this point in Star Wars Rebels no longer had his chip. But did Gregor actually execute the order prior to this? A lot of people seem to believe that Gregor's inhibitor chip was damaged in his crash on Abafar, which is what caused him to have amnesia, and the brain damage he suffered here could have damaged the chip. However, it was also later removed, likely after Order 66, 66 just to avoid any malfunctions or the possibility of the chip working in any capacity. Remember, the inhibitor chips weren't only used for Order 66. There was, Order 65, Order 67, supposed to be like 150 different orders, so good thing he got that thing out of there. And similar to Gregor, next up we have Commander Wolffe. Now, Wolffe also had his inhibitor chip removed, but this was following Order 66, for sure, confirmed. And according to the Clone Wars writer Henry Gilroy, it's possible that Wolffe did indeed follow the command for a while. He did execute Order 66 to some capacity, which would explain his aggressive reaction to meeting Kanan Jarrus for the first time. Wolffe was likely traumatized and scarred from the experience, and although his inhibitor chip was removed, he still possessed inner demons surrounding the events of the Order. Next up, we have the clone medic Kix. Kix witnessed Tup executing Jedi Master Tiplar and decided to keep quiet and go do his own research, discovering the Sith conspiracy against the Jedi and information on the inhibitor chips and what they made Palpatine capable of, turning the entire Grand Army of the Republic against the Jedi. Now, Dooku discovered that Kix was learning all this and ordered the CIS to capture him, and after being captured and interrogated, Kix was frozen in a cryocycle stasis pod to be taken directly to the Sith on Sereno. However, as the CIS ship took off, it was attacked by Republic forces, dealing massive damage to the ship, rendering it incapable of reaching Sereno. Now, the droids had been issued with command to prevent Kix from being recaptured by Republic forces at all costs. Now, a B-1 battle droid aboard the ship made the decision to use what power the ship had left to jump to lightspeed to a random location in the galaxy, somewhere the Republic would never find it. The ship came out of lightspeed and crashed on Panema Terminal, with all battle droids eventually losing their power and Kix staying in stasis, untouched for 50 years. So he was never able to share his discoveries about the inhibitor chips with the Republic or the Jedi. And if you want to know what happens to Kix, there's a short story called The Crimson Corsair and the Lost Treasure of Count Dooku, which tells the story of how he was awoken 50 years later by a band of pirates around the time of The Force Awakens, making him the last surviving clone trooper. Next up, we have this guy here from the premiere of The Bad Batch. This is Captain Gray, who initially executed Order 66 on Kalair, helping kill Depa Billaba. And after this, Gray and his clone battalion went on the hunt for Caleb Dew, aka Kanan Jarrus. But what happened to Gray over the next few days was quite interesting. Now, these events are taken from the Canon comic series, which was adapted, kind of, anyway, for the premiere of The Bad Batch. Initially, this showed the death of Depa Billaba and how Caleb got away, and obviously we saw the start of that in The Bad Batch as well, slightly different version, but I covered that in this video the other day, so you can check that out. They changed the way Order 66 went for Caleb, for Depa, and these clones. So Gray did in fact act on Order 66, but after hunting down Caleb with the help of Captain Styles, they eventually captured Caleb, and then Caleb escaped, and Gray began questioning the clones' actions following Order 66. He started having doubts. He didn't understand why the clones, who are capable of rational thought, had all blindly obeyed Order 66. But Styles disagreed, and as they were en route to Caleb's location, Gray shot the ship's controls, leaving it vulnerable and sacrificing himself and the ship so that Caleb could successfully escape. So even without having his chip removed, Gray was capable of figuring all this out on his own. He defied his programming with the chip still installed, perhaps one of the only clones to do so. Some people say that Order 66 did wear off on a lot of clones, and several weeks following Order 66 they no longer had the urge and desire to kill Jedi and were eventually phased out, but for others it seemed to remain a lot stronger. But Gray is interesting in this way that he began to question things quite early and realize the clones' actions didn't make sense. And then next up we have the members of the Bad Batch: Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, and Echo. The former three I mentioned are genetic mutations of the Jango Fett clone template, and although they have the chips installed, they're ineffective. Their genetic mutations override the chip's programming, unlike Crosshair, who was still affected, albeit mildly compared to the blind observance of most other clones. And Echo is a cyborg. The Separatists made so many experimental modifications to his body that his chip was likely damaged during this process, and he is therefore unaffected and also didn't perform Order 66. Now, although they're not genetic mutations like Clone Force 99, there's one other group of special ops soldiers who in Star Wars canon go unaccounted for following Order 66: Delta Squad, first appearing in Republic Commando. Delta Squad are clone commandos, just like Gregor, meaning they're trained on another level when compared to regular clone troopers. They go through rigorous testing and training to be more qualified clones assigned to covert missions. In Star Wars Legends, Delta Squad receive Order 66 and transition into Imperial Commandos, and then eventually go hunting Jedi. However, I'd like to think that somewhere down the track we'll get a canon explanation of their fate, as they are special ops clones, and for some reason that makes them different. But I'd love to know what you guys think, and if you know of any other clones who didn't perform Order 66, let me know in the comments. And for more Star Wars, Clone Wars, Bad Batch, and more, watch one of these videos here, and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and join my Discord for lots more Star Wars gaming, news, updates, everything you want. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.